Hello and welcome to another Talking To episode. I'm your host Teddy, and today I'm being joined once again by
Aiden.
And today we're going to be talking about the TMNT 2003 Season 1 Episode 18, The Show Strikes Back Part 2. So what do you think about this episode briefly?
Well, this episode briefly, I cannot put it into words. I know I say this every single episode, but it takes it by storm. This episode was just action-packed. Like, it never stopped, even for a split second, for a breather. It was just throwing it all in there. Action or nothing. It was just complete, utter chaos. But I absolutely loved the chaos. It was great. It was amazing.
Yeah, I'll just say that this episode, for me, oh God, I think still is probably one of my favourite episodes of all time. And I think it might just be my favourite episode of the season. I love this episode so much. So with this episode, I didn't actually make proper notes like I normally do. I just made notes on like certain scenes we need to talk about, and it's going to be interesting because we've never done like an episode like this before. Where we just talk about like an action scene for 20 minutes. So it's going to be really interesting to see how long we can drag this whole podcast episode out for. So starting the actual episode off, we do have a little flashback scene to when Splinter fought Shredder in episode 11. Do you have anything to say about that? Because I feel so we've already said everything we wanted to about that scene when we watched that scene originally.
To be honest, I did want to say, I wasn't expecting to have a flashback to episode 11, where Master Splinter is fighting against Shredder and showing his demise and showing his return. But yeah, to be honest, episode 11, when we did that together, I've said most of it what I wanted to say. But if you haven't seen episode 11, guys, you should definitely go watch it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't really have too much to really say about this bit, just because I feel as though I've already mentioned everything that I wanted to when we were talking about that episode originally. And I'll say that, like, including it in here, I don't think it was bad, because I think that just remind the audience of what happened last time was okay. I just think that because it's already stuff I've already seen, it's nothing really too exciting or new that I can really go home and be like, wow, this bit is amazing or anything like that. But going into stuff new, I want to talk about the apartment fight first. So that's where we do get to see Vitel's fighting all the Foot Clan in April's apartment. We got to see a new buff foot soldier. Splinter like catching an arrow. There's quite a lot of stuff that happened in this little scene here. What do you think about that scene there with all those different things in it?
To be honest, Teddy, I'm gonna have to ask you which scene that was, because the amount of scenes that had so much information and action in it, I am still trying to process it myself. In which scenes are which, because they all merge together so perfectly. Like it's insane.
Okay. Let's talk about the buff foot soldier first that took out Michelangelo and was then beaten by my Splinter. What do you think about him?
Be honest, I thought that guy was a ninja elite. It's like, oh my god, the ninja elites are just coming in already. But then, of course, I saw he didn't have the hat and the red eyes. I was thinking it's a normal looking foot, but it's just bigger. And I was a bit weirded out at first. It's like, why is he not wearing like the full foot ninja uniform? I'm like, this is kind of weird. He's wearing like half the suit, but he's like big and buff and all that. But yeah, he was quite cool to see, like seeing different attributes of the different ninjas' personality, because we usually see the ninjas in like complete black and we never see any skin, so that was kind of weird. But I gotta say, he was really easy to defeat for some reason. Like Mikey took him down, and Master Splinter, I must say, with that impressive like back fist right into his face, it was a bit of a shame to see him just fall like that on the first couple of scenes.
Yeah, I think that he was very uniquely interesting for a variety of different reasons, and I feel as though having him in here to like spice things up with a variety of different foot ninjas, I thought that was like really great and really interesting. And I wish there was like a lot more of these type of guys, just so that you can like really like I don't know, have a bit more variety with the foot soldiers instead of just having the normal regular ones, and then every so often, like a foot tech ninja or a foot elite. It feels to you that like because now we're getting like a nice variety of foot ninjas. I think it would be nice to have a lot more of those people like show up throughout the whole episode. But even so, what we did get was just amazing. Okay, do you want to talk about Splinter's amazing arrow catch? I thought that was a highlight of this scene.
Well, first of all, I gotta say that arrow catch was on point. Like it was just I'm not too sure how else to describe it. It was just on point. And I've got to say, I'm going to repeat this a lot tonight. But with the montages, like as such, when the zoomed in, and of course we've got the comic-like strips of color and light, going towards or zooming in on the characters. I got to say, I don't know what it's called, but I just absolutely enjoyed watching those for some reason. They just made it a bit more in this episode. I'm not too sure. Do you understand where I'm coming from, Teddy?
Yeah, it just like makes the whole thing very unique and spices things up and just adds like a nice variety of different things for it. I think that's maybe what like we're trying to go for.
Yeah. I just don't know what the name is called for that type of work. I'm not too sure.
Hmm. Do you have anything else to say about that scene?
Oh, sorry, I was going off track there. But with the arrow, when Master Splinter grabs the arrow, it reminded me of Leo within the Matrix. And for those who haven't seen the Matrix, it's a good movie. Go watch it. It just reminded me of like Leo and the Matrix. Just like he stops bullets in midair, and I don't know why, it just gave me Matrix vibes right there. Just he grabs the arrow in midair, and he's just it was just awesome to see, like how skilled and impressive Master Splinter is. Even though he's old and looks senile, he's actually a deadly and lethal weapon to be reckoned with.
Yeah, I'd say that with the whole scene with Mossman catching the arrow, I think it's like really just great just to give Mossman to the spotlight to show like him doing ninja stuff and just him just being a great ninja. I really do think that was like a really great move on their part. So some other little bits for the scene we do get to see the Toes just fighting loads of foot soldiers in this apartment scene. Do you have anything else to say about the apartment scene, or do you want to move on to another scene?
With the apartments, with the apartment scene, sorry, I was really impressed with the amount of characters they could fit inside that one scene. Like, I must have counted at least 10 or 12 ninjas, and of course, including turtles and Master Splinter. It must have been so crazy to draw each and every single one and move every single one within each different scene. That must have taken the animators and the producers such a long time to do.
Yeah, I think that with all these different scenes in here, I just think that it's just like a nice variety of different villains, just nice, great action, just perfect. And then I just think that just because it's like so immediate, I mean, we're not even like 5 minutes into the episode at this point, and we're already getting like one big amazing action scene here. We'll just find loads of people. The stakes are really high, just perfect. So then in the next scene, we do get to see Mikey and Don visit the Foot Elite and says nice hats, and we also do get to see a Donatello versus the Foot fight. Oh god, oh god. We do get to see a Donatello versus a Foot Elite fight. What do you think about that scene?
That was really impressive. I must say, I really did enjoy the Turtles fighting against the Elite for the first time. And I've got to say as well, I am super impressed with Mikey. I never thought I'd say this in a million years, but I am really surprised that Mikey took down the Elite first time round. That was just, I don't know what to say about that. Like, it was somewhat impressive that Mikey can just flip a switch and take on anything. It was just really crazy to see him go against the Foot Ninja and take him down.
Yeah. I mean, I must admit, I do think about this scene. I do quite enjoy Mikey's little. I mean, like he makes like a little joke here, says that it's quiet, a little too quiet, and I do enjoy that little reference back to the episode Garbage Man when Leo said it. The nice hat thing, I think that still really holds up really well for just being a really great joke. For just, I mean, they are really nice hats. And then even the Donatello versus the Foot Elite fight, I thought that was like a really great one. I don't really know what else to really say about it. I think it just works to really just show you the Foot Elite. I mean, the Foot Elite are just amazing. And then to show them here where they nearly killed Donatello, again, it's just amazing. But then we go into the next scene where we do get to see Splinter fights loads of foot soldiers on his own. What do you think about that scene?
I gotta say that is really, really impressive also. But I just quickly want to go back to the apartments. I know that we've gone past it already, but one scene in particular that I've just remembered is April and Leo when they try escaping down the stairs. Where Leo says, "Please just leave me, April. Save yourself." April said something which I don't know why it affected me, but it hit different, you know. Basically, April is now family, and of course, when she said, "We are family, Leo. I can never run out on you," that was somewhat symbolic and somewhat had meaning, and it was like it really hit different on me because April is just this outside random stranger that the turtles had no idea and did not really matter for. And of course, seeing the April and the turtles over these few episodes and they develop into somewhat of a family, it's just really, really cool to see. Like how people from different backgrounds and people from different like races and of course like different species just coming together, and it was just really really weird and cool at the same time. Like this random stranger helps another random stranger, and I just really enjoyed that scene. It just made it wholesome right there and then.
Hmm. Okay. What do you think about the Splinter fight scene?
The Splinter fight scenes, that is a whole nother story. That is just, I think I would be here all night just explaining how deadly and lethal Master Splinter is and how adaptable and creative and unique his fighting skills are compared to the Foot Ninjas. Like, we see Master Splinter throwing the ninjas off banisters. We see him throw him through like everyone else. We even see like the I don't know whether this was Mikey or one of the turtles, but with the Foot Ninja um dominoes. I just loved how one of the Foot Ninjas got thrown, and of course all the other Foot Ninjas just fell down the stairs. That was really funny. I did crack at that because it was just like a whole dominoes thing. They all just fell down the stairs, and that was just really funny to see. But overall, the Master Splinter's fit scenes are just absolutely awesome. I got no problems with anything with that at all. But yeah, it was just really cool to see.
Yeah, I had to say that with these fight scenes with Splinter going against the Foot Clan, I thought that they were just really amazing. Just, oh my god, so great. Just seeing him just fighting, and I think what I've been saying with the past few episodes, when you do look at, like, last episode with Liu giving the spotlight, the episode before that giving Donatello the spotlight, I think that giving Splinter the spotlight here, just showing off, like, what he can do and just how amazing of a character he truly is, and what he does, ripping the banister off and just beating the living hell out of everyone, it was just amazing. I think I'm with you, like, with these scenes where I don't have anything bad to say about them. They were just really, really great. But then we go into a really, really great scene. The Turtles versus the Foot Elite in April's shop. What do you think about that scene?
Oh gosh, I I'm gonna be here all night. Basically, I have got to say one thing and one thing only. What an amazing scene! What an amazing fight scene! Like, I know this episode has hundreds of dozens of fight scenes in it, but with the Ninja Elite and the Turtles fighting against one another, I gotta say it was probably the most realistic. Although they are turtles, realistic fight scene that I've ever seen. Both are worthy candidates and worthy opponents of themselves, fighting against one another for life and death and honor, going at it. And of course, the Ninja Elite, they're going at it, they're losing, and of course, they're winning at the same time. The Turtles are going at it as well, and they're losing and they're winning sometimes, and it kind of mimics a real life situation in a stance where they are both worthy opponents, both are skilled and obedient and have the skills and knowledge to fight against one another, but their skills and their knowledge are counteracting one another. So sure, they may be winning, but sure, they are losing at the same time because their powers and their knowledge and their fighting skills are so similar because they've been taught by grandmasters themselves. It's just crazy to see them fall and rise throughout this entire episode, and I just absolutely loved it.
Yeah, I mean, with this whole fight scene, it is just beautiful, true perfection, and I mean, I think that I mean, it feels though very like pretty much like I'll say definitely establish our love for these characters in terms of like Foot Elite and just how amazing these are, and just seeing them here, I don't really know what to say, and they're just too good. They're just too good to put into words, and it's just amazing. Oh god, I feel so that if we was to rewatch this scene, we would just be like there screaming, be like, "Oh my god, that bit was amazing! Oh my god!" And I just don't really know what to really say. It was just amazing. I feel as though I've had to keep rambling on and on and on, which I don't want to do. So I'm just gonna move on to the next bit because I just think it was just perfect. Okay. Then we have Shredder's entrance where he kicks in the door,
Enough said.
and then there's lightning, and he walks in. What did you think about that scene?
Okay, this is the scene where all hell is about to break loose. And of course, by the tone of your voice, Teddy, I can definitely tell that this is one of your favorite scenes as well. And I gotta say, so is mine. I know I said this for every other scene. This one takes the cake. Well, I really don't know what to say. Shredder kicks in the door and announces himself in front of his elite, and I'm like, well, one, Shredder, have you ever heard of knocking before? Like, come on. But secondly, I am just so taken away by the fact that the amount of stuff, the amount of information and action that they've put in the one scene, and of course, Shredder's entrance is also very impressive with the amount of like scenery, of course, the ninja elites, the foot in the background, and of course, Shredder himself in his almighty form. It is an impressive scene, and the amount of information that we have just been given, like this entire episode overall, is like we're literally being battered around the face with like action after action. It's like someone has grabbed some action in their hand and just slapped it around our faces. Literally, this episode is just chaotic with action. But going back to the Shredder, I'm going off topic here, but I gotta say the Shredder is impressive, and I've got to say I really do love the voice acting on Shredder's character because he comes in and said, "You've been a thorn in my side for the longest time now, Turtles, and soon I will have my revenge." That is just the classic villain talk, and that's something that you don't usually get these days, and it was really nice to see, and I'm really happy to see that.
Yeah, I think that just Shredder's entrance, just him walking in, kicking the door in with lightning, it, oh god, that was just perfect. And then even him just like taking down the turtles with just one little hit. I don't really know what else to really say. I just think again it was just all too perfect, and to like say anything other than it would just be, I don't know, I wouldn't be doing it justice. It was just amazing. So, what do you think about the Shredder versus Splinter fight scene? It was like a very short one with Shredder using Donto's staff. I thought that like Shredder's like techniques using it wasn't very good. It just feels though that it was just swinging around, it wasn't putting any skills into it. But other than that, I thought it was really great. What do you think about that scene?
I was really impressed with Master Splinter going up against Shredder, because I was really taken away by the fact that Master Splinter said that you've already destroyed my family once. I will not let you destroy my family again. That also hit differently this time. Like, of course, Master Yoshi, his former master, was killed by the Shredder himself, and now that Splinter has the chance to take revenge, was just really cool to see as well. And I'm also taken a breath by the fact that Master Splinter and Shredder, like I'm surprised Shredder didn't actually cause some damage on Master Splinter as well. Like even though Master Splinter is a really skilled and talented character and artist at his skills, it was just really um not scary, but it was weird to see two masters who are both wise in skills and knowledge to go against one another and almost defeat one another, which was crazy to even see that as well. But even though it was briefly interrupted by Leonardo with his bold but crazy suicide charge into the cupboard, that sure it did something to break up the fight, but in Leo's condition, I probably wouldn't have done that in my opinion. Like you already been busted up from like the fight before, and you just run into a cupboard hoping to crush whoever's behind it. Hopefully not your master, but it was just crazy to think that he just does a suicide charge into that cupboard to try and break up the fight. But of course, we know that it wasn't in vain, but it could have led to a different outcome, I think.
Yeah, I just think for like I don't know. I think it's one of those things where like his intentions were there. I just think the execution wasn't. But then we go into possibly the coolest scene in this episode.
Yeah.
It is Casey's entrance on the motorbike, taking out the Foot Elite. I think that has to be one of the coolest entrances. What do you think about that scene?
Oh my gosh, I'm gonna need a. Well, I said that the other scene takes the cake. This one also like tops the cake as well. Like, if there's something higher than the cake, then this would be it. Basically, I know I'm going to repeat myself because the English language fails me when it comes to describing such detailed and action-packed scenes because it's just too much action. I never thought I'd say that ever. Too much action for me to take in. Like there's so much going on. But Casey and his motorcycle, I was not expecting that at any point at all within this episode. I think, okay, the Turtles are really had it now. Then, of course, out of the blue, Casey comes in on his motorcycle with his hockey mask, his trench coat, and just goes to town on every single enemy that stands in his path. And it was just really cool to see. But I've also got another thing I wanted to say about as well, but I'm gonna save that until we get to it. But what did you think about this scene, Teddy? Because I know you definitely enjoyed this scene.
I think it has to be one of the coolest scenes in this episode. I want to say about. I think this is actually my favorite scene in this episode just because of how cool it is, and I think it may be one of the best and coolest scenes until history, if not all of media. I mean, when do you ever see someone like this coming into a room when everything seems lost, loads of action? He comes in with an amazing scene, breaking in, and then taking out all like some of the strongest characters in the series. How do you even put this into words? You just can't. So then, in the next following scenes, we do get to see Vito scrap against the foot soldiers, and also we do get to see Casey protects April from Hun. What do you think about those scenes? Because I thought also there's quite a bit to talk about in there.
Yes, there is. This is the scene that I wanted to talk about. The Casey and April friendship is seriously developing right now. Of course, we all know this was going to happen, right? We all know that Casey and April were going to get together, but this is just like the first few episodes and scenes that we're actually getting to see Casey and April's relationship developing. So it is just really good to see as well, because most stuff these days don't really have that development, like the love and friendship development, which is a shame, really. But seeing Casey and April, and of course Casey being flustered by April for saying thank you and all that, you just 100% know that something's gonna go down.
Yeah, I mean, I think that with this scene, I think might be like a really good representation of everything that's been leading up to this point in the show, where basically it shows of like all the relationships that have been building up, where you can definitely tell like the relationships between the turtles, how they view each other, their respect for each other. You can even see how some of the other characters are even viewing other characters. Such as like Hun, he's taking notes from Shredder by taking out the one like because like Shredder took out one of the weakest. Or I wouldn't say Lino is weak, but he took out a key opponent from their team, and Hun used that technique to try and take out April. And I think that it's just really interesting. I mean, overall, I do think that the Hun scene, I thought that was really great. But I do definitely think that it shows like all the different relationships throughout this whole show that's been building up to this moment. And I think it's just so great, and seeing that like it like even so like I mean just because this is like still season 1, and going forward there's still a whole lot more, and all the relationships are still going to be developed and stuff like that. And seeing it here, just I think it's just really interesting. So do you have anything else to say about the other like fight scenes with the turtles and the Foot Clan? Because I don't really have too much to really say about them, but I feel like they're all cool.
Yeah, I'm with you on that one, Teddy. To be honest, every single foot that has fought against the turtles in this episode, I thought they were more realistic and more active than the ones in the 2012 series that we did together. And for those who haven't watched the 2012 Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles series and the podcast that me and Teddy did, you should definitely go and watch it, because it will definitely help you understand what we're talking about right now. So, but yeah, with the Foot Clan and the Foot Ninjas in this entire series thus far, I gotta say they are more deadly, more active, and they look more realistic. They really do. Even though they're in like a 2D comic format, they look so much more realistic, and they feel more human. You can actually see their movement, their bodies changing, and of course they have little to no dialogue, but when the dialogue is used, like the moans, the groans, the attacks, it just makes them more realistic, in my opinion. And that's what I just like about this Foot Clan in this series alone.
Yeah, I think that overall, I think they just do like a really great job of making a bit more. I think it's making it a bit more lively. But going into the next scene, we do get to see all the turtles like back up into the small room. Shredder blocks it off and blows the building up with saying an amazing line about how he's the Phoenix and he's risen. What did you think about that scene?
Wow. Um, this scene was okay. I guess that they cornered themselves in a refrigerator. Like I was like, come on, guys, seriously? You could have made it to like a sewer line or a manhole cover and slipped back into the sewers. Surely that would have been a more viable option, but I guess it was the heat of the moment and they didn't know what to do, so they got the next best thing, which was a refrigerator. Which, okay, is alright, but yeah, when Shredder trapped the turtles in, and of course the Fed showed up, I've got to say that scene where he just blocks them in, sets off the fire, and turns on the gas, and he walks out saying the most coldest and the most awesome line that I've heard in a long time, saying, "I am the Phoenix, and I am rising from the ashes of your failure and your defeat." That hit hard. I will not lie to you, that did hit hard, and was just super impressive. The amount of like content that was in there, like the Phoenix, like, and him and the fire. Put the two and two together, you got like the most coolest scene ever.
Yeah, I think that overall this scene, I think that is just so amazing, and because of, I don't know, it's a really interesting scene because I think that overall the scene's like it's okay, but I just think that it's just that Shredder scene that again, you've already said it about how he's the Phoenix, he's risen, and from the ashes they'll burn and stuff like that. It's just amazing. And I don't think anyone was really expecting it to go this way, and even to end the episode on this sort of high note, it's sort of a bit weirdly great. The only thing which I do got to say here, and this is something which I'm pretty sure you're going to be annoyed at quite a bit, but when Mikey opens the door up, it comes out of the room. But when Mikey is trying to open the door up, he's pulling it into the room. So I don't think he knows how doors work. That's all I really got to say about that scene. He could have saved them all. Yeah, what do you think about this episode overall?
Hold on a minute, we haven't finished yet.
Well, there wasn't really too much to say. I mean, there's only one bit where, like, you get to see the Guardians look at the turtle, or, like, the building and all that. Do you have anything to say about that scene? Because I didn't have anything to say about that bit.
I was a bit, like, disappointed as such. Like, the episode ended there and then. Like, the building blew up, and the Guardians turn up, and they think they're dead. And I'm thinking they're dead too. Like, no one could have survived that explosion. Like, just, like, they turn up, they try escaping, and it's like, oh no, we gotta go. And then 5 seconds later, boom, the whole city block is up in flames. You see the Fed's car and the copper's car just explode, and you see the poor officers down there. Like, I feel sorry for the officers. They just get blown away. I'm surprised they didn't get hurt or injured, but we don't know that. So it was just really crazy to see, like, okay, now they're dead. I don't know how they're going to spin this off into another third part. So that was just what I wanted to say.
Okay. Okay. So, like, did you have anything to say about the Guardian scene or not? Because I don't have anything to say about that bit, because I think it's just okay, but yeah.
With the Guardians, I was shocked to see them back again so soon. But with the Guardians as well, I really want to know about their plan, because they reported to their higher ups saying, look, the allies are dead. What are we going to do? They said, okay, let's look at the plan. And they realized, it's like, oh gosh, we need to accelerate our plans in order to defeat our enemy. 1, what is their enemy? 2, what are their plans? And 3, we still don't even know who they are in general. So that I'm just left stumped at the moment with everything going on with the Guardians. So any context in that matter would be really useful.
Well, I'm not going to give it to you. No spoilers here. But what do you think about this episode overall?
Overall, this episode was hands down probably up in my top 10. I know I say this every week, and I know I say this every single time, but these episodes keep getting better and better as time goes on. And I'm going to need a bigger list, Teddy. Like, I know we're going to be top 10, but I'm going to need a bigger list.
Wow. I feel as though I've already expressed everything I wanted to at the beginning of this episode. We're saying that this is like one of the coolest and best episodes ever. And like I said with the last episode, I think that the story overall is possibly one of the best told stories ever told. If not one of the best stories ever told for any media, whether it be comic books, TV shows, movies, Marvel, DC, anime, or whatever it may be. I think this is honestly one of the best stories, and I feel as though that you definitely understand why now. So yeah, do you want to hear some comments?
Let's hear them.
Okay, so on YouTube, we have Bayou. They put this was quite a way to end the season. I'll say that truly a shows how dangerous this shredder is. Yeah, I think it's one of the best episodes from this season. I don't think it's the best episode. I don't think it's the best way to end the season, because I know that you probably would have been quite mad at that. For kids, Timothy, they put this is a tough battle. Was lost to the Turtles. On Facebook, we have. Oh, okay. Lisa Daniel Hollenbury, they put, and it's quite a mouthful to really say, quite a few paragraphs. So they put, nice hats. Is now and forever a punchline in our house. Thanks to this episode. I think everyone knows how I feel about this episode. Probably my favourite episode all time, and certainly in season 1. The animation is excellent for all was essentially a 20-minute fight scene. Early doors, Splinter cemented as being leader, father, and absolute badass, being one to great to get everyone rallied and moving. Excellent character work for him and consistent throughout the series. I think 2003 has the most fleshed out and complex Splinter of any incarnation. Also love how the Foot are still playing numbers game and it's still working. So much work has gone into capturing the feel of the turtles being gradually worn down, as with Leo in episode on part 1. And it really adds to the tension and makes the episode feel that more high stakes. I really enjoy when the turtles are real, oh god, I said it wrong. I really enjoy when the Foot are real, credible threat. The 87 army are easily disposable robots and lame, and they're hardcore here. As in Shredder, he's the most evil. It's a better episode by showing the Foot is good and not just many. Oh, and actual cops. The whole battalion of them by the time the shop blows up. Did I mention I love Casey in this episode? I love Casey in this episode, and in spite of rather much cheesy dialogue, motorbike through the window never fails to delight. I've spoken people ask Casey would have done known. I've seen people ask how Casey would have known anything was happening. Bowles just assumed he'd be on his way over, and noticed a massive fight and bunch of off smashed windows, and started to assist in the noisiest way possible. Not one of the life big thinkers. Casey, but we knew that already. The whole interaction with him and April is unexpectedly adorable too. What a day is another quote from this episode I use rather more often than necessary. I could go on and on about, but I probably shouldn't. The storytelling makes this one so compelling. From the start, it's just gripping, and no matter how many times I watch it, I'm on the edge of my seat and yelling at the telly every time. Also, Shredder is cheating. Matt, to say, I don't know what to really say about that word there, but I'm not going to say it. And I wish someone will cut his head off. So, yeah, that was a nice, long, worded way of saying everything we wanted to talk about. So Davey,
wow.
Davey Condra, they put, I love the episode. There are so many callbacks to the OG Mirage issue. Yeah. So on Reddit, we have Varian Scribe. They put nice hats. I've got nothing else to add. It was just a good episode and a bit hilarious. Took Gun Wonton, they put, I just really great season overall. I don't think I can skip many episodes from season 1 compared to season 2. And stable until 639, I think that's what it is. They put, it's one of my favourite episodes in season 1, but I like another episode that comes up in a few episodes' time. So, yeah. Okay, do you want to hear some trivia about this episode now?
Let's hear it.
Okay, so this episode is based on the original comics that came out in the 80s. This episode is the first time we hear Casey yell his catchphrase Goongala, but I'm pretty sure he said that earlier, but I could be wrong about that. When the Turtles fight the Foot Elite, one of them knocks Donatello's bow staff near Mikey. However, in the next scene, we do get to see the bow staff has been teleported in a way. It's a really weird thing, but I think that might be a one which I might point out to you soon. So with the Casey bit, it's never revealed how Casey knew the Foot were attacking. It's just one of those things that he's just showed up and he's there because, and there's no other reason why, and it's just great. A few scenes has been some fighting the Foot are reused from episode 11. So so with the cast, this cast is actually really small for this episode as well. We got Veronica Taylor voicing April, we got Mark Thompson voicing Casey, Sam Riegel doing Donatello, we got Greg Carey doing Han, Michael Sinterklaas doing Leonardo, Wayne Grayson doing Michelangelo, Gregory Abbey doing Raphael, Scotty Ray doing the Shredder, Darren Dunstan doing Splinter, and then we've got Deuteron cancelled, done by Darren Dunstan, and yeah, so yeah, I mean, just like with last episode, we've done all the actors, so I don't really know who you want to look into this week, or it's all done with this one, or or what.
Have we done Clay Adams yet?
Clay Adam is not in this episode. I didn't even say his name.
What do you mean?
So Clay Adam, he's in future episodes and stuff like that, but he never appeared in this episode.
What about the police officer?
They were voiced by, I think one of them was done by Greg Abbey, one of them was done by Sam Riegel, who did Raph and Don. Yeah, I mean, more or less just like done everyone really in this episode.
Oh. Well, I'm looking at the IMBD here, Shredder Strikes Back Part 2. There's Clay Adams here as Officer Eastman.
Oh. Well, I don't think it wasn't. I mean, I know that there was a. I mean, with the actual like all those people, with officers, I think it's hard to say because he they also changed the voices around, but the only thing is with that is that the voice actor who did the officer also did it for episode 1, so I don't think I just think that's one that. I don't know. Some of these like backup voice actors for like small roles, they always get mixed up just because no one really knows who actually did what. So yeah, it's a really weird situation.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, I mean, do you want to just move on to the next part about the podcast with the like the name of the next episode and who's starting the episode off? Because I don't think there's any actors we can really talk about, really.
Let's do it.
Okay, so
no, I don't think. I think we've gone through them all.
Yeah. Okay, so for next week's episode, it is called The Tales of Leo. What do you think is going to happen in that episode?
Well, hold on a minute. Hold on. So this isn't the Shredder Strikes Back Part 3.
No, it just continues on from this episode, but.
This is completely different.
No. So basically, it's spoiler alert: the turtles are alive. They did survive, and yeah. So like, it's still connected to this episode.
Ow!
And it's hard to say, but like, it's still connected to this episode like heavily so much, and it's just like seeing the aftermath of it and how the turtles did with all of it. That's like the. Without like spoiling anything, that's pretty much the best way of saying it. But it's still like heavily connected to this episode. It's just not called Part 3 whatsoever.
Oh well, that threw me off completely.
So yeah,
was not expecting that.
Okay, so who do you think is going to be starting the episode off? And I'll give you a hint now. It's not one of the turtles.
Oh, okay, because I was about to say Leo, but Leo is not my choice. I think it's going to be Master Splinter.
Wrong. The Shredder.
Ah. The Shredder?
Yeah. A very cool one.
The Shredder's doing it.
Mm-hmm. And I think you can only imagine just how amazing that's going to be.
Okay, I completely lost it. My entire like imagination for something different, but nah. Once you said those people are doing it, I'm like, okay, I'm completely lost.
And even better, Baxter Stockman's back. Yay!
Baxter?
Yep, he's back.
You're really just spoiling this for me, aren't you?
No, it's not really much of a spoil. He's barely in the episode. It's gonna be amazing to see what he does. That's all we gotta say. But, yeah. Do you have anything else to say about this episode, or is you all done with this one?
I think I've probably depleted everything that I wanted to say for this episode. I think I've got everything down here, Teddy.
Yeah, I think it's arguably one of the best episodes ever. But yeah, so if you don't want to get onto the podcast, you can leave a comment on the YouTube community tab. You can leave it on the Facebook post, Reddit post. You can send it via Anchor through either text message or voice message. We'll do those. But yeah, I've been the host Teddy,
I've been Hayden.
and we'll see you soon. Goodbye, yo, bye.
Bye.